My workplace problem is stress and emergency communications. All over America, this issue plagues emergency communication centers, having negative results in employee retainment. 911 operators have one of the most stressful jobs. At any moment, you can get a call that forever changes the lives of not only the call taker, but the caller and those connected to them. One mistake can be the difference between helping save someone's life or hearing them lose it. Your voice could be the last voice someone ever hears. No pressure, right? Wrong. 911 operators are trained for months, and just one lapse in judgment can land them in court, in the news, or even worse, in jail. All of these factors considered, it's no wonder 911 call taking is one of the most understaffed jobs. The turnover rate is high because employees are unable to process the stress placed on them in a healthy way. The stress is unavoidable, but having to carry it into their personal lives isn't. High turnover rate equals current employees being mandated to work overtime, causing even more personal and work-related stress. Because of high call demand, when emergencies take place that affect more than one person at a time, multiple calls will come in about one common accident. A shooting, car accident, traffic lights out could all lead to dozens of calls. Because of this factor, having your phones fully staffed and all operators on the floor as much as possible is key to success. No solutions that are selected should ever take the call floor below mandatory staffing minimums. This was a huge consideration when selecting workable solutions. The best brainstorming technique for this unique situation was divergent thinking process. This allowed me to come up with ideas that were out of the box because the style of workplace is out of the box as well. When working 12-hour shifts and taking calls a majority of that time, the common solutions to lowering stress just wouldn't work. Being able to just get up and take a walk whenever they want to is not an option. Anything that takes an employee away from their phones or distracts them from being completely focused in their call will cause an even bigger problem. I came up with several different solutions to solve my workplace problem. However, many of them wouldn't fit into the workflow without issue, such as forced time off that would, in theory, be a great way to increase an employee's mental health. But considering part of the problem is the ECC being understaffed, this solution would end up being counterproductive. Among many solutions, the two that were clearly the best fit were peer support groups and interactive online training. These solutions can easily be incorporated into the current workday without causing any hindrance or distraction and will be utilized by and accessible to all employees. The only negative with these two solutions that will work hand in hand is the employee's reluctance to be honest and truly take advantage of the help being provided to them. I used the weighted matrix to make a decision on who would be the first two peer support group members to get the program introduced and running. The criteria used to make this decision was number one, experience. Having prior experience put the candidates heads above those who would need fully trained. Those with prior experience may not need as intensive training as those that are brand new. Communication is number two and is one of the top attributes. As a peer supporter in times of stress, you must be able to listen and in turn provide assistance and help in clear wording that is easy to understand and helpful. If a person is unable to vocally express what they want to convey, then no matter how empathetic, dependable, or experienced they are, it will be hard to overcome a lack of communication skills. Dependability was number three, and it speaks to someone's work schedule and ability to be there when called upon. They call off regularly, there's a good chance when called upon at work for peer support, they will be missing. Number four was empathy. It is another major necessity to successfully fill this position. Someone must be able to relate to what is being shared with them, even if they don't have personal experience with it themselves. 6 steps is all that's needed to take these two solutions from an idea into a reality. Step 1, form a peer group, using interested employees in a weighted matrix to choose a select number of employees to fulfill this role while still being able to fulfill their normal job expectations. Step 2, a training course refresher course for those selected as peer group members. Step 3 and 4, using the peer group's input, select an interactive training program that can flow into online trainings for different topics already provided and mandated by the organization. Step 5, after a selected period of time, check in with the peer group and the interactive trainings and see how often they have been utilized. Then make any necessary adjustments to increase employee engagement. The final stage is just being happy with a job well done, but check back after 4 to 6 months to see if there hasn't been any increase in mental health or employee retention. The only ethical concern would be finding a communication style format that would allow both the caller to speak freely about what is stressing them, but also protects caller privacy. This would be using the scenario, but not giving specifics on callers' names or locations. There are no environmental or social concerns as long as privacy concerns were properly handled. These solutions are meant to increase call taker retainment, resulting in more experienced call takers on the floor ready to handle whatever call comes their way. This in turn allows the call taker to be the best version for the individual caller they are speaking to and for the community as a whole.